What up, world? My name is Timothy DeJesus.
Hi everyone, Aldric here.
Hello folks, it's Kevin Kwok here.
Hi, this is Jeremey Sea. I just wanted to say this about bottoms-up perspectives. It's about real lives, real journeys, and real perspectives.
The whole idea behind bottoms-up perspective was from the word kampai, or in Asian culture, oftentimes we drink until the bottom of our cup is empty and we turn it over. So it's very much like just cheers, right? And building relationship. And that's what we're all about, is building authentic, solid relationships on a global level and being able to see things from a global perspective.
And no, we're not Alcoholics Anonymous.
We are here to be the voice of everyone.
I love the idea that we're real people and we get to share our experiences with real people just like you.
So we look forward to having you join us. What's going on,
Hello.
LinkedIn? So episode, is it 26?
26.
What up, world?
Yeah, so we're going to talk marketing today.
Finally.
So,
No, not my show. Kevin's show.
so this is going to be good time. So I think we all do a little marketing here with the whole bottoms up crew, right? So yeah, we're super excited to be on this show, and let's talk marketing.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's start with the first question, okay? What is marketing
Haha.
to you?
I'm prepared. I'm prepared for that. I went to look up the textbook definition. If you guys want to hear it,
Sure.
okay. I'm prepared, man.
Is it Webster or Google or no?
No. It's a definition I've stuck to for a while. I just need to dig it back out. So, according to Dr. Philip Kotler, he defines marketing as the science and art of explaining, creating, and delivering value to satisfy the needs of a target market at a profit. Marketing identifies unfulfilled needs and desires. So that's the textbook definition. But if you were to ask me, it's really simply put, money invested for even bigger profits. That's how I see it. Because a lot of corporations and people see it as a cost, that the first cost to cut if bad times like this happen. But I disagree, right? Because I've been in this, and if you see some of the great companies, they invest even more during this time. Okay, maybe not even more, but they do invest so that when bad times always come here and go, but once we hit back on the right track, economy starts picking, the companies that invested in marketing will be even ahead of their competitors and in the market. So I see it as an investment to gain further revenue, be it for brand building, thought positioning, thought leadership, all that good stuff, creating loyalty, creating needs. That's for me. That's from me.
Yeah, and I think even beyond that, it doesn't have to be something you spend money on. I mean, we market ourselves every day on social media, and it doesn't cost anything unless you choose to. And you can always spend money to advertise on a platform. But the reality is, every time you put content out there, when you create a profile, that's a version of marketing yourself. So, marketing is, there's a means of spending it to make money, and there's a certain limit that you're going to have doing it for free on social media, where you can't get past that limit, and that's where spending money is going to help you to drive to a bigger audience. But at the end of the day, marketing to me is putting yourself out there and, kind of getting word out about your company, yourself, your brand, whatever you're choosing to. It's, making sure that people are aware of who you are and what you do.
I think that the keyword really is target market, the target audience, because the saying in marketing is that if you try to be everything to everyone, you will not mean anything to anyone. So usually when we try and define marketing, target market, usually people say, I want to target everyone. That's the worst thing to say in terms of target market definition. So yeah, be something to someone.
What about you, Aldric?
I think marketing is about awareness. That should be the core, and I think if it satisfies that purpose, the success of the marketing activity or the campaign, so to speak, is a successful one. And by that, I think it's usually very difficult to justify a return on investment in terms of marketing expenditure, because marketing by itself there's still many steps towards an effective lead conversion or sales conversion. So, well, that's the reality, and because of that reality, it's actually it pushes a lot of marketing professionals to also embrace terminologies that are relevant for the sales folks. So things like you measure the effectiveness of your ad spend, you measure the effectiveness of people who actually convert from your marketing campaigns, and that's what I think. But I think let's get back to the core. Marketing is about awareness, and if we manage to drive awareness, good things happen. So that's what I think about marketing. Digital or physical, out of home or in home, doesn't really make a difference for that.
Kevin.
So for me, I think marketing is the art of winning attention. Just to make it really simple, right? It's really, I think, throughout time and history, marketing is always trying to gain attention with the right audience that you're trying to connect with. So there's so many mediums to do it. I think in today's market, there's no longer, I know a lot of times we're like, oh, he's a digital marketer. At the end of the day, we're just marketers, because I think, there's no more digital marketing versus marketing. It's just marketing, because everything's gone digital nowadays. And that is where marketing is. It's just the same as it used to be TV. And then it became, radio, TV, internet, and who knows, AR, VR, in a couple months, maybe. Who knows, right? So I think it's just the art of getting your attention out there. And a lot of people forget, you don't have to be a business to do marketing, right? You're marketing yourself in relationships. You got to sell yourself on the date. You got to market yourself when you're applying for a job. You got to present yourself. You got to win the attention of your employers. You're marketing yourself as the child of your family, win the attention of your parents, So, I mean, this is from birth, right? You try to, your siblings, you're trying to win attention. So, I mean, we're natural marketing beings, we're born to market, right? If you aren't marketing yourself, you won't wear clothes. You would just walk around naked, this is your identity, the way we dress, the shoe we wear, the house we buy, it identifies who we are as people. And we're born to have an identity. We're born to try to attract the same kind of people that we can relate to. So for me, that's the way I think about marketing. So it's not rocket science, right?
Yeah, Kevin. The only reason why we wear clothes is because there are different genders. Just kidding.
Hey, Adam and Eve.
and funny you talk about trying to market ourselves when we are babies, right? That form of marketing really is more about the one that cries the loudest get the milk first, right?
Yep.
So it's still about getting attention, right? Yeah.
Hey, the thing is, it's still the same way, right? Think about marketing in politics. Marketing, the bigger the company, the one that whines the loudest gets the attention.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Still true, right? Still true.
It still holds today. Yep. So, it kind of leads to my next question. How are you guys marketing yourself today?
That's easy, right? It's on my, what's that? Oh yeah, here, right? new retail guy. It's the alias I gave myself. when I try to market myself on LinkedIn, right? I mean, end of the day, it's about personal branding. The reason why we're doing this, sort of also, it's for branding, to market myself to, I don't know, employment market, or market myself to maybe be sort of a expert or trusted advisor on matters concerning retail. Maybe I get invited to more formal webinars and digital events, so that's kind of like, the tag, the name. But I guess to really market myself as the new retail guy, there are certain things that you need to do consistently. Like for myself, in my case, I try to bring insights into what's happening in the retail scene in Asia Pacific, but maybe more of now just Singapore, because nobody's going anywhere. Just for example, I'm looking to try and get myself down to the third Apple store, which is opening today, but unfortunately because of social distancing, I couldn't get a reservation slot to visit, so you'll have to wait. So I like to do videos like that to really just share with everyone, but at the same time, I hope in my videos to really share some insights on some of the technologies, what physical stores do to attract people, why is it different, share kind of insights like that. So it's not just like a touristy type of a video. So that's kind of like the things I love to do, to in a way market myself. Of course, sharing contents and giving insights there as well. Provide some form of value in this area or pocket of niche that I'm trying to establish myself in.
Good.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Tim.
All right. So, I mean, a lot of people see me on LinkedIn. So, I do a lot of stuff on LinkedIn that I believe, it's just fun. And that's how I like to market myself, because, I do believe life should be fun. You can't go through life. We all work a lot. Whether you're an entrepreneur or you're working for somebody on the clock, it doesn't matter. We all work a lot. I was just having a discussion today with one of my friends about how, TV consumption is going down just because we're all so dang busy. So when I market myself, I try to market myself as fun. And I want people to see that you can have fun, whether it's on LinkedIn or no matter where you are. Because I think the reality is we should have fun in life. We only have a short period of time that we're on Earth. As we get older, what I see is the years go by faster and faster and faster. And you don't want to waste these years, just being stressed and uncomfortable. So, when I market myself, I bring a lot of fun, but I also like to help people see a different side of things. So, I may talk about the stock market, or I may talk about just business in general and how you spend your time in business, so that, you're not, again, all business, no fun, because, that's just too stressful. It's too stressful for most people. And we all deal with enough external stress. To have to add internal stress on top of it is too much. So when I market myself, that's how I want people to see me. So that, like I said, they realize, like, hey, it's okay. Like, we can have fun and we can still be serious at times, but have fun when it's there for you. So that's how I market myself.
That's awesome.
Cool.
I think that everyone does marketing in a way that can be intrinsic, and if we, I just want to anchor it to the idea just mentioned, which is about awareness, and the way in which we can actually spread the awareness and then get the attention is when we communicate, and when we get into the realm of communication is basically every single thing that we do, what we say and how we carry ourselves. It doesn't always have to be commercial in orientation, because if we keep thinking about it, then the way in which it comes out will be very natural. So it becomes very natural in marketing. I mean, like, if we look at Mr. Donald J. Trump, he is marketing every single time. Every tweet that someone posts for him, every talk that he does, his books, and he just keeps talking about his ideas and his mentality, right? We're gonna win, we're gonna win, we're gonna win, we're gonna win. That's marketing. no one is going to say this kind of things if they don't have that marketing mindset. And sometimes it's not about deliberation, it's just how people think. So every time when we communicate, we are marketing. It's like when we do our live show and we do our conversation, we are marketing. We are marketing the show, and we are marketing each of us, the way we believe and what we believe in. Same for our post on Bottoms Up, and same for the book project that's coming up. It's marketing first, it's awareness first, through communication. So I think we don't have to be too deliberate in the way we think about the attempt to market, but we just have to pay a little attention to the kind of things that we say, and we know exactly what we are marketing ourselves for. That's what I think.
Yeah. So for me, I think when it comes to marketing, I'm very aware of kind of where my end game. I kind of know what my goals are, right? So being a digital marketer, I own an agency. So we work with clients day in and day out. And I think the biggest mistake that we come across is people don't really know why they're marketing or what they're marketing or the audience they're marketing to. They just feel like everyone's doing it, I need to be there, right? So you hear people, oh, let's jump on TikTok, let's jump on LinkedIn. And the question is why? I always ask them why, because at the end of the day, if you can't execute and you can't do it with persistence, then you're just wasting time. Only if you just love doing this stuff. I can be honest with you, I don't love it. I rather play with my boys, go lift weights, eat a big bowl of noodles. I enjoy those things. It doesn't take work for me to eat. Okay. But like if I was just doing it for fun, I probably won't be like trying to figure out what post to post, what content to content. I'm an introvert. I'm completely fine talking to my wife and 2 kids, on a daily basis. I do love people, and the only reason I do it is I want to bring value. I have all this stuff in my head, and I through experience, and I want to share it because I want to see other people succeed. And I think the best form of marketing is just being very authentic when it comes to your personal brand. But when it comes to your business brand, there are a little guidelines. And I see a lot of small business owners cross the line where they make this mistake. If you look at our J29 page, it's a little different than my personal page, right? My personal page, I can share my heart out. I can talk a little about religion or the things I believe in, what Kevin's passionate about, because that's marketing me. You either like me or you don't like me. Now, with my business, I work with anyone that wants to fork out and pay me, right? I'm just going to be honest, right? If you pay me, I'm an equal opportunity. I will accept your fees, but I will help you succeed, right? But then I want to take away, I don't want to talk about personal stuff. It's all business. And so there is a very clear line, right? I'm sure where Jeremey Sea works, he can't just talk about every single thing in his personal life or his boss is going to fire him. So there's there is that medium. And I hear everyone's like, oh, tell your stories, be authentic. But if you pay attention, these people are influencers. They aren't running a company. A lot of them have companies. If you watch Gary Vee, he talks about a lot of things on his personal brand, people. Go look at VaynerMedia. The language changes completely.
Yeah.
Pay attention.
Yeah.
And then people make big mistakes. Oh, Gary's doing it, so I'm an auto dealership. I'm going to do that. Or, oh, I'm a clothing company. I'm going to cuss too. And it's like, you can't. Yeah. I know Tim's different. I watch his auto stuff. He's different than when he's doing his personal stuff.
Of course.
You can cross that line, and you've got to be very careful. So when it comes to marketing myself, I try to be very active on social platforms because It's like Tim said, it's free. It's the lowest hanging fruit, right? You need a phone and you need the internet, you know, and then you just share your feelings, your thoughts, put yourself out there, right?
We got some awesome questions from the audience.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah, brilliant questions. Especially
Interesting.
the one from,
Let's go.
We'll start with Jen's. So what's hers?
Is there
What are
some
different
form
ways
of
that a company or
favoritism that's in play, or?
She was the first question.
Yeah. What are different ways that a company or person can market themselves or their product or business? So, you know, I'll keep it short. I mean, social media. I mean, obviously, if you want to pay, you can be on TV and radio, although they're declining mediums from what I can see. Because more people are cutting cords, so cable is becoming less and less. But you can still do them. I mean, there's still ways to do it depending on what you're trying to accomplish. Now, company or person marketing themselves or business. I mean, the mediums are kind of the same, but I think Kev just answered the question, right? You're gonna market those two things completely differently. So, I think Kev just answered this question directly, or indirectly, I should say.
Yep, I think indirectly I did.
Yeah.
So yep,
you kind of hit the nail on the head on this one.
Yep. So I think it just has to be different. When you're a business, everyone looks at ROI. What's my return on investment? Because at the end of the day, no one wants to invest in something that doesn't give them either a long-term return or a short-term return. So you have to help, when it's a business, you have to help them define what's the return, right? And it's just like Aldric said, you have to educate them. The return might not be monetary. It might be recognition. It might be building up your brand, you know, and how much is that worth to you, right? And in return, you also have to look at, hey, do you have the staff behind it? Do you have the right sales team? Do you have the right products? There's a lot, you know. When you're marketing yourself, you're just looking at yourself. You know, what's my goal? Oh, my goal is to go work at a tech company. Then I am going to put content out there that shows off my skill set in the tech, you know, world, you know. But if you're a company, it's a little different because now you're marketing your culture, your product line, your services. So that's my take.
But to me, if I have to say something slightly different, there is actually something common between marketing yourself and marketing a company, and that is differentiation. You need to market why you're different from the masses, why you're different from your competition, why your profile on LinkedIn is different from that 10, 28 million other people on that platform, or on Instagram or on TikTok, whatever that is. You need to market how different you are so that you get that attention that we talked about earlier, right? If you're just another person on LinkedIn, another professional on LinkedIn, so what? There's millions of them, right? You're just another company selling shoes. So what? Are your shoes recyclable, made from recyclable plastic? Are your shoes the best for one-time performance? What are your shoes known for? Color, customization, whatever that is, right? That you need to market yourself to be different, to tell people why you're different from all the other people out there. So that's one thing that's common, be it yourself, marketing for yourself, or a company. So I just want to add on to that.
I agree. No, this is great.
For me, I think in terms of the time horizon, so every day we can do two types of marketing. The short-term one and the long-term one. The long-term marketing doesn't change. The pitch doesn't change. So what the company believes in, what we believe in, it's the same. So if you believe in hardworking athlete, that doesn't change every day. But what changes every day is how we put into practice. Like, is it the work that we do? Is it that when we go for lunch, we have a business lunch and things like that? So in that sense, the day-to-day changes versus the long-term stability, that applies to marketing the same way it applies to the finance world, right? That's investing for the long term. You know, we know that technology is the way to go, healthcare is the way to go. Long term, that doesn't change. What changes day to day is if you have a trading portfolio on top of your investment portfolio, then you know that, okay, today is going to be a volatile day. Okay, should I buy and sell and I hedge myself? That changes everything because it changes everything. So I think the approach to marketing works. There's two ways to do that from a time horizon perspective. What we believe in, we won't change. Our philosophy, we won't change. But day on day, what we experience, that changes. So I think there's two ways to do that. The other way, which I think Kevin and Jennifer has been doing very well ever since I got into the other platforms, is that they have a household of Kevin, Jennifer, 2 kids and a dog, right? And then Kevin appears on LinkedIn, Jennifer appears on LinkedIn, their kids appears on Facebook, the dog appears on LinkedIn. But you can fragment your content in a way that I'm answering Junet's question now.
Yeah.
Right?
In a way, yes.
So that's one way. Since Junet's question is here, I think managing content, we have to be time efficient. We have to be time efficient. We are busy beings personally and professionally. So one tip that I can think of is produce a long form, right? From there, you can publish the long form on the various platforms like LinkedIn has articles, Medium, you can publish articles and things like that. You publish it. After that, you fragment the paragraphs. You can convert each paragraph into a LinkedIn post, a Facebook post. You can even fragment a paragraph to answer a question on Quora, and then you can clip the topic sentence to become a Twitter feed. So you produce once, but you fragmentize them across the various platforms. To me, I would like to use a very layman term for that, which is you Control C once, but you Control V multiple times. Then that's how you get your efficiency across the various platforms. And it is a synchronized campaign. So within the same day, as people get into different platforms and they see what you say, it's the same thing. You don't contradict yourself. So that's how I think about it.
Yeah. If I'm going to answer Junet's question, my main thing is you have to know the platform. Because the reality is the platform is going to dictate the content you produce. Because the reality is you can't always duplicate content across platforms because some of it just doesn't jive, right? Like, first of all, you can't do text on TikTok. So there is no take, copy, and pasting a LinkedIn post. It doesn't exist, right? So, you might be able to do that on Facebook, but at the same time, you have to look at what your efforts are. If you post it on Facebook and you're not getting any views or engagement, then again, is it a worthwhile investment? So you have to look at, first of all, the platform, and then second of all, you have to know yourself individually and what platforms work for you. So, like, give you an example, right? LinkedIn works for me. Great. I love LinkedIn. Everybody knows I'm on here. Facebook does not work for me. I've given it the good old college try, and it's just not for me. I just, I choose not to spend my time on Facebook, and that's okay. Instagram is very hard to build a following on Instagram. So again, why spend hours and hours posting content on Instagram if you don't have an audience, right? YouTube, I like YouTube. YouTube, there's a lot of educational content, which kind of ties in with my LinkedIn. So the difference is you can't, again, do text on YouTube, so you have to be prepared to do video. But the nice thing is, to Aldric's point, if you post a video on YouTube, it's very easy to put it on LinkedIn. So that's great. It's do two things at once. Now, TikTok is completely different than all of these. TikTok is just pure fun. So when you go on TikTok, it's just pure fun. So, a lot of this stuff, you're not going to post most stuff you post on TikTok on LinkedIn because people are going to look at you sometimes like you're crazy. Plus, there's a lot of cussing and all sorts of stuff on TikTok. But you have to know who you are and, your personality and where you get the most bang for your buck on social media. Because there are so many platforms, but it doesn't make sense to try to do all at once. It goes back to, I think Jeremy said, when you try to be all things for all people, you end up being nobody. So you have to kind of pick and choose the platform that makes sense for you, or platforms, and the platforms that, you know, jive with your personality, and you can also build an audience on. That's where you spend your time, and I definitely say, to answer your question directly, yes, depending on the platform, different content for different platforms.
Yep. And this is where what I tell my clients: know your business, know your audience, know yourself. So it's so important. Okay. I can't dictate what platform's good for you because I don't know you. You know yourself better than anyone else, and you know your business better than anyone else. Once you know those three things, then start figuring out the platforms, the algorithms, right? What works on these platforms, and then take action. You learn by taking action.
Mm-hmm.
Take action with your personal brand versus your company's.
Yes.
Okay. When you're with your companies, you don't want to make the mistakes, right? With your personal, people are more forgiving, you know? So start playing with it, you know, if you're new to social media. Now, if you're frequent to social media, it depends. What's your budget? What is your ability? Okay. I don't judge people if they use like virtual marketing assistants and different things like that, because it's impossible to be everywhere. That's just the truth. You go look at Gary, you look at Shay, all these people that are influencers on LinkedIn. They're not posting one by one themselves on a daily basis. They're past that. But why would you judge them? Because they got businesses to run. You know, that's when you have to leverage other people, right? Just like anything else, there's a growth point where you have to start leveraging other. For example, when you're talking about content on different platforms, there's great tools out there. You know, you got Sprout Social, you got Agora Polls, you got Hootsuite. Those are great platforms to help you manage your day to day, posting and then making little changes like, you know, little changes that you can make right within your social posts, either maybe adding some hashtags or cutting it shorter. So that's important. And then understand the language of the platforms. And it's just like Tim said, like TikTok, dance videos do great, you know, and I've seen Jeanette's videos. You're doing great on TikTok, right? But if you can't dance and you don't have no rhythm, I wouldn't be on TikTok, right? So, I mean, you have to know what you're strong at, right? And there's a language. Every platform is like a foreign language, and you have to understand it. You have to understand your audience. Yep.
I'm gonna touch on where you left off, Kevin. I think all great points shared. I want to talk about the audience part. I think at least for me, I choose the platforms based on the audience and the strategy, so to speak. What I share on the different platforms will depend on the audience that I think I have on that platform. I'm not on TikTok because I do not think I have an audience there, or I've at least not tried to build an audience there. But what's my strategy there? What am I going to be on TikTok for? Am I trying to pull off the best dance move so I can attract some young girls? I don't know why I'm going to be on TikTok for when I'm the marketing guy. Maybe I can start shooting videos of, you know, store walkthroughs and share them on TikTok. But I don't think the audience is going to go there to look at, you know, how this Apple store look like. That's not where they're going to look for.
Jeremy, but I think if you dance in every retail store that you go to, people would watch it. Like if you're dancing through Starbucks.
Yeah.
You know, I actually thought about going on TikTok and, you know, every time just do that single one dance move that I know, just to irritate the hell out of everyone. So at least I'm consistent. Make it out of a joke,
that would work, man. That would actually work.
But okay, let's not detract from that. So my point really is, you need to know what audience exists on those platforms, what those people are on those platforms for, and then you need to craft that strategy, that message to reach them. So I think I go on platforms based on the target audience. So you guys are on Facebook, you see I post entirely different thing on Facebook than what I do on LinkedIn. Because my point is, my Facebook audience are, you know, casual friends, you know, people I met, that kind of thing, keeping in touch. I don't share all the retail articles that I put on LinkedIn on Facebook. I don't do that, but I do put those videos that I take of store walkthroughs on Facebook because I think that's interesting from a casual learning point of view. People might want to watch videos. My friends can see where I went to, for example. But I do everything else on LinkedIn because I'm in B2B marketing, right? I'm trying to position myself as a retail guy, and that's where business is, and the target audience is there, right, to get that professional connections. I'm not on YouTube yet, but I do things at some point. I'm probably going to upload all the videos that I have and use YouTube as more of a depository kind of a store video assets storage, right? And people can find and see things there. I'm not going to be a YouTuber and hope for a million likes and make money off their passive income. No, because I don't produce that kind of a retail content on a daily basis. That's not going to be my career, but maybe that could be, I'm not sure. But I don't have an audience there. So I'm just going to use it to supplement what I'm doing on LinkedIn. And if people find me and they want to see all my videos that I've done, it could be there, but more for self-reference. So I do think, to summarize, it depends on where your audience is. You need to be sure. Then you craft the right message for them. That will be the strategy part. You know, what you want them to know about you, what you want to tell them about your company, your product, your services, how different you are. So go for the target audience and see which platform they are on before you pick the platform. That will be my advice. Yeah.
Here's a great question here. What are the best ways to build an audience with content? So I'll start. I think number one is consistency. Most people don't build an audience with their content because they're inconsistent. People come back for more, and it takes time. So with marketing, it's all about the long game, right? We all start at zero, and it takes time to become the hero, right? With content. So you have... Yep, you like my plug?
You are marketing general.
Marketing there. Yeah.
Okay.
So you have to build an audience also by engaging. So when you're new to social media or any marketing platform, forget vanity metrics. Throw that away. Don't worry. Don't look at your likes. It's exactly like personal training. What's the first thing a personal trainer tells you when you start a fitness program? Don't get on the scale. So when if I ever coach someone on digital marketing, social media, don't look at your likes. Don't look at how many followers you have. Stop. You've only been on there for 1 month. You aren't going to grow a following in even 2 months, okay? Only if you're buying them. I'm not stupid. I watch everyone's profiles on a daily basis. I know who's using bots. I know who's buying likes. I know who's buying engagements. I've been in the game too long.
Yeah.
So you can't fool me, right? It takes time. Yep.
Kevin, that's why you reached out to me, because I got very little likes, right? I'm not buying bots. Yep. And I like your analogy with the fitness training thing, because if you are starting to check your likes and all that, and you're getting discouraged by that, only when you're like on social media for a month, it's equivalent to doing 30 sit-ups for the first time and trying to feel your six-pack. Yep. It's equivalent to that. So you will not get that six-packs after you did your 30 sit-ups on day 1, not even day 30, right? So it's just a good analogy. I'm just going to say. And it's the same thing. When we started Bottoms Up Live, Aldric, Jeremey, and Tim, we had maybe 2 people, and one of them was Chen. That was on the show. So it's not like, all of a sudden we just have a following and people are wanting to watch this thing and people are commenting and liking. It took, 25, 26 episodes. And now we average maybe 12, 13. And then a lot of people watch it afterwards, right? And you got to be patient. It takes time. And it's really like nurturing an audience. And what do I mean by nurturing the audience? You have to build relationship. You have to engage. You can't just go down it doesn't matter if you're Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, it's all the same, right? You have to engage. You have to want to talk to people.
Actually comment, not just put a thumbs up or a heart. People want someone to actually talk to them. So social media, digital marketing, content is a relationship game. You're in business with people, so deal with them like people.
Yeah.
Yep, that's my tip.
Yeah.
So
I would say building an audience with content, and this is, I think, really where authenticity plays, right? I mean, at the end of the day, if you look at LinkedIn as a whole, if you scroll the feed for 24 hours in a day, you're probably going to read the same thing 5 times. It just worded differently, right? So if you're just going to put up regular content, why does somebody want to follow you versus the next person who's talking about marketing or sales or whatever? So that's where the authenticity is going to play. That's how you build an audience. People have to be interested in you. Jeremy said it earlier, right? What is your differentiating factor?
Yep.
If you don't have a differentiating factor, why follow you, right? If you're going to be Gary V 2.0, why follow you, right? I mean, it's not going to work, right? If I just start doing F this, F that, people are going to be like, who is this? I don't have 6 million followers. I can't pull that off. So, you can't try to be somebody else. You just got to be yourself. And that is how you build an audience with content. Because, if you ever have checked out my content, I'm very opinionated sometimes. Right or wrong, I'm going to hit you right between the eyes sometimes. But that's me. That's how I am in real life. I just tell it how it is. So that's why people are like, okay, cool, I like this guy. Like, he's okay. And you don't get that everywhere, because I don't just talk about sales. I'm in the business of sales. I very rarely talk about sales. Why? Because there's thousands of people talking about sales on LinkedIn. So why bother? Why not talk about me or do some DJ stuff or something that's unique to me? That's how you build your personal brand. So, again, it's all about being yourself, but don't be afraid to say something that is on your mind, and that's the thing about social media, right? The reality is people want to hear what you have to say. Otherwise, they wouldn't follow. If people didn't want to hear what you had to say, they wouldn't be here. So say what's on your mind, be yourself, be authentic, and you'll see, like Kev said, it takes time. I didn't get 100 likes or 50 likes the first 20 posts. You know what I mean? And I had maybe one that had a little bit of a viral effect, and that was sandwiched in between 20 that had no engagement whatsoever. But you just continue to build off that. So I think that's how you build an audience with content. You just be yourself, and don't be afraid to say something that's on your mind. Like, it's social media, right? Everybody's gonna judge you one way or another. And if you don't have haters, you're not doing enough. That's my opinion.
I'm not doing it right. I don't have haters yet.
You're too nice of a guy to have haters.
but I agree with what you say. Be yourself. That's where the content have to work hand in hand with your authentic self. It's easy to just define content, right? It's what is content? You could just take a quote and post it. That's content, right? You could just take an article and post. That's content. But where does that come in? Where do you go in there, right? That's where your opinion has to matter. Yes, your content will have value in a sense that not everyone would know this news, right? Not everyone will read this news, but to make them want to click that news that you share, it's always best to have your opinion up there, or tell people what tickled you or what got your attention about this article that relates back to you as a person, as your personal brand, or as what you're trying to stand for. So I think it depends on what you're trying to be to the audience, and that's where you will build a following, an audience, because the following or the audience will need to identify you on something. You have to stand for something, and then your content will complement what you're standing for. Then you will be able to build the audience or the community. I hope that makes sense, because because otherwise you're going to be, like I said earlier, you're going to be the 10,000 person that shared the same article about Apple opening the third store. You know, I have thoughts about going down to shoot the Apple store walkthrough tomorrow. Why? Because I've already seen store walkthroughs from media who has early access into the place. But do I still want to go there? I thought about it. Why waste my time? But I thought, yeah, maybe I can offer a different angle when I'm there. Maybe I can talk something specific to retail that all the media is not covering because they just shoot a walkthrough. You know, maybe I'm still not convinced I should go. You know, but that's where you start to build an audience, because you think about content, you think about where your value is in that content. You have your unique insights, your own opinions. It could be right, it could be wrong. But it's important you have your own opinions. Otherwise, you'll just be like, just a reporter reporting everything that's there and not giving insights or value that is aligned to what you're trying to represent or what you're trying to position yourself as, to differentiate yourself from. So just my example, I think you need all that to come together. Then you'll be able to build an audience, because people then will know who you are. I mean, what was the last time you saw a name on LinkedIn that it looks familiar, and you went to check the profile again and you thought, oh yeah, now I remember this guy stands for this and that. And I probably take 2 or 3 times before I remember a name sticks in my head and say, oh, this guy always posts this because he stands for XYZ, right? So in the same way, if you want people to follow you, you need to make sure that it sticks in their head and they know that next time they see this name, oh, this guy stands for retail. He's the new retail guy. This guy stands for the new car dealer guy, whatever that is. And if you have done it the first time, it sticks in the person's head without having to check a profile a second time, you're there. That's how you do a following.
And I think it's important too, right? When it comes to content, it's on the eye of the beholder. How many of you like the exact same movies? How many of us read the same books? I mean, think about it, guys. And I always tell content creators, when you're new to creating content, think like Steven Spielberg. Don't think like a business person. Throw that thought away. This is 2020, people. You're either here to educate, entertain, or encourage people. And if you can't do any of those, social media might not be for you. Okay? So the truth is, when you're creating content, you can't please everyone, because no one likes the exact same thing. We all have different tastes. I can eat a Chinese dish and totally love it among all the Asian people. But then I share it with my Caucasian friends. They're like, this thing's disgusting. And it's the same thing with content. And let's put a spin on it too. That's why knowing your audience is so important. What about culture? Okay, you move the Gary Vee content to, let's say, China or Asia culture. It might not take off the same in the U.S., right?
Yeah.
And the reason they follow him is he built a company first. If Gary Vee wasn't wealthy and then owned $150 million empire and started cussing in Asia, it won't take off. In America, we accept that. That's totally cool. So you have to, when you're talking about content marketing and building an audience, my question is, where is your audience? Who are they? And if you don't know who they are, example, if you're a law firm and you're trying to target a more reserved 50 plus executives, you probably don't want to dance around in LinkedIn or TikTok. Or, none of that, right? Because that's your target audience, and they're not going to be like, "Ooh, what a cool lawyer," to represent my, $50 million portfolio. So you have to just know your audience. So that's just the truth, right? Let's see what other questions we have here. We have a lot of good ones.
Aldric hasn't had his say
Let me just finish off with this question.
Go ahead.
I think that it's a very simple question, but there are many tenets to that, and it aligns with the way I responded to Junet's question. So first thing is, I think fundamentally first, there are 3 main points in this question: content, audience, best ways. So when it comes to content, like the way I responded to Junet's question just now, if you write once, so you may write about Jurassic Park, right? So that would be an article. Let's say you publish an article, then you fragment that article. You take a paragraph. This paragraph is about Tyrannosaurus Rex. Post it on Facebook. You take this paragraph, Velociraptor, paste it on LinkedIn, and then whatever you can do, you fragment that. That's one way. The other way, you got to think about the various forms of content, the various formats: text, image, audio, video. Produce once, and look at the prowess of distribution channels. I'll give an example that I've not mentioned: podcasts. There are at least 12 podcast channels today, which allows us to do our distribution. But there's one that facilitates the distribution into the rest of the podcast channels. So they don't pay me to say this, I'm just saying this. So Anchor FM. So what they do is you record your podcast there. Once it's recorded and saved, you can distribute to the rest of the podcast channels. So you do once, create once, and look for the distribution leverage. That's the other way to think about it. So when you shoot an image, you can write a text. All you have to do is when you upload into Instagram, you change the header. You upload into LinkedIn, change the header. Upload into Facebook, you change the header. So in that sense, you build awareness into your campaigns. So campaigns can be of 3 pillars. I know this is a PhD type of answer, but there's many ways to think about it. So awareness, engagement, and monetization. So you will not know how to build an audience. You got to find them. So the way to find them is to be efficient in the way we create content, leveraging on Control-C, multiple Control-V attitude versus the distribution platforms, prowess that you have. So that works. Then that is about awareness. Don't spend too much time on building awareness. Leverage on the technology that's there, because you want to spend the time on engagement. Throw it out and see which type of audience in what kind of platforms actually come back to you in terms of engagement. Then you decide to spend your time there. So that's how you build your following. And I think this is a very practical way of recommendation, because who the fuck knows how to find your audience? You know? I don't know. I mean, like, whoever tells me that they know, they must be deluded. Hey, come on, we all start from step 0, right? So let's not think about building a following or building an audience, but first find the people, build the awareness, find ways to engage with them, and from there you monetize. I think that's the best way to go about doing it, right? And of course, if an opportunity arises, you can reach out to me and let's have a chat. That's my long response to that very simple question.
And it's a great way to think about it. It's almost like when you're the new kid, and I just dropped I didn't drop my son because we're doing online learning because of the social distancing thing, right? But he just started kindergarten, right? So my thought is, when it comes to marketing, it's a lot like your first day at school. There's no way of knowing who your friends will be.
Yeah.
You're the new kid, you've been with mom and dad all this time, and now we go drop you off into school, and you guys start finding your identity, who you are at school, and you'll start seeing which kids will talk to you and play. Some people will never like you. That's just the reality of life. And that's the same thing when you're starting to create content. You're going to start finding out, oh, I connect with this tribe, these people. So why don't I just engage with them? There's no way you can just engage with everybody.
Yeah.
Okay?
Sure.
It's impossible. So to Jake's question, this is a good one. What about formatting and look? So many people make their content look the exact same. Is it necessary to trend hop, or is it worth it to recreate a new look for your brand? Okay, really quick, Jake, you're awesome at building content. I love your stuff. I'm a big fan. You make me smile every morning. You're doing great. So that's all I want to say. So go ahead.
Okay. I'm gonna take this and I gotta drop off because I got a call at 10. So just
Yep.
very quickly, I like this question because you always consider learning from the best, and then you try and mimic or adopt that formula in terms of delivery, look, content, format. But I don't think it will work. I just give a very simple example. I guess most people will know who Nas Daily is, the guy who does all these 1 minute video shots.
Yep.
Imagine if I went into the Starbucks store and presented my video that way. Hey guys, today I'm at Starbucks Tokyo. Would that work for me?
I will watch
Would that
it,
work?
Jeremy.
I will too.
Oh, come on, guys.
I would.
My point is
Now you gotta
my
try
point is thanks for the support, guys. Right? My point is I think I can imitate that, but it will just be so unnatural. So my point is I try to learn the good ways or the things that I can adapt and learn from, but I don't necessarily want to adopt everything 100% wholesale. That's why there might be certain things that are in trend, certain style. There will be things to learn from the best from, but I don't think it's a good idea to mimic it 100%. That's my point. It's still good to retain some of who you are, what you are, and the way you're most comfortable in doing it, because that way it's more sustainable. That way, in terms of content, the way you think about things, even your skill set, like I don't have this kind of skill set to do that kind of Nas Daily kind of video, right? 1 minute, cut everything short. I don't have that kind of skill set to have all these pictures, B-rolls to put beautiful people, that sticks with the content, I don't have that skill sets as well, but I try to do my best. I learn and I aspire to what he could do, but that doesn't necessarily mean I would want to adopt it 100% because I am not him. It is not sustainable. Even my opinion, the way I do it, not just look and feel, the content itself. So I'm just gonna end up with that. I'm really sorry, guys. This work call came up last minute. Yeah, I would have loved to continue on because this is my jam, right? Marketing. But I guess Kevin will have to lead that now, digital marketing. So sorry, guys. I gotta go. So I'll catch you guys again in the next one. And thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you.
Jeremy.
Thanks.
Good stuff, Jeremy. All right. So to answer Jake's question, right? Formatting and look, I think, it depends on the platform again, right? See, the thing on LinkedIn, I think you have to have a little bit of your own formatting and look on LinkedIn, not from just a pure text perspective, but maybe emojis and things like that. Because the issue is, it's so easy to scroll past on LinkedIn. So imagery is, I'm noticing, with the right imagery, you can catch somebody's attention on LinkedIn. Video, sometimes you can catch somebody's attention on LinkedIn. But if you're going to do a pure text post, you got to grab somebody's attention really quick because there's so much text as you scroll your feed. And, like TikTok, right? I'm noticing on TikTok that I believe actually original content scores a lot better on their algorithm because everybody's copying the same video, right? On TikTok, it's very popular to have one audio and everybody does the same audio over and over and over again. But after a while, like as soon as you hear the first 3 seconds of the audio, you know what it is. You're like, okay, I know what the video is. You scroll past it. So on TikTok, original content is key. I think it's important to have your own formatting and look and your own audio on TikTok so that people actually pay attention. When they see a video from you, they're like, oh, this is going to be different. It's not the same thing I've seen 100 times just repackaged over and over again. But it also depends on your brand itself. Your brand, you got to kind of try some things out and see what works for you. If formatting and look of something similar to someone else works for you, great. And if it doesn't, then you got your answer. You have to go in a different direction. Because at the end of the day, you have to, as an individual, whether it's a personal brand or a business brand, you have to do what's best for your business. And some of it is trial and error. I created, I think, my personal YouTube channel. I think I created 4 YouTube videos and ended up scrapping all 4. And there was a lot of time involved in getting those up and running, but I just didn't like the look and feel of it. So I scrapped them and started over. And now I like the direction my YouTube channel is going. And the only way I was able to get there was through trial and error. So, I think you have to kind of look at what works for you. try some things out. Whatever works for you, that's what you go with. That's my answer to Jake's question.
And in all honesty, too, when it comes to formatting and look, right, Jake, I think the important thing is the reason a lot of the same formatting and look and feel is on these platforms is we all utilize the same tools.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people don't have the skill set to do a certain video or editing skills, or have the ability to do graphic design, so they're using Canva and Spark, Adobe, and these are canned templates, and everyone uses the same captioning. So that's why it causes that same look and feel, right? It takes time to be original, and it takes work, right? And I think if you have the ability to be original, that's always the best, right? Because you have your own identity, your own brand. But at the same time, I think it depends. I think a lot of people don't look at formatting and look so much, but they look at the heart of the content.
Mm-hmm.
Is that person really genuine? Does he bring value to the table? And I do think that when you start trend hopping, the problem you have is people remember brands because it has consistency. So if you pay attention to Starbucks, you pay attention to brands like Nike, we recognize certain things because it doesn't really change, right? Same with BMW, Mercedes, these big brands, right? There's a reason they maintain that same look and feel, that same structure and formatting and look, because over time people start recognizing. People know when J29 stuff come up because for the last 6 years, I haven't jumped around on logos. I don't change the look and feel of who we are. This is who we are. And I don't care if it's 10 years from now, 15 years again. My message stays the same because I stand behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Authenticity and relationships. Now, things can change within my business, but at the end of the day, these are our core values. That's what we stand by. And that's something you have to look at. It's more important to look at what's the core value of your brand is, and then maintain that versus worrying so much about look and formatting. So that's my take. Aldric?
I just want to say something about the trend hopping. I think it takes a lot of effort. So if you have the time, sure, just give it a try. But typically, the front runners will get the bulk of the attention. So it's like if you want to do trend hopping and you already see it and you want to hop on it, you're like the little sharks, the shark scrubbers following the shark, right? The shark has gone, but it left a trail. So there's a little something for engagement, but you're not going to make it to the headlines. In a way that to me is too time consuming. So I think instead of following the news in the digital realm, why not just create your own news? So at least you are in front. That's what I think.
I think that's great.
No, that's awesome. It's so true. Let's see. Do we have more comments here? Let's see here.
I think on the question front, that was all of them. But they were freaking awesome questions. Awesome.
No, thank you guys. So my next question is, why is marketing so important, guys?
Since Jeremy's not here, I guess I'm robbing. Listen, I mean, you can't sell a secret, right? If nobody knows you exist, then what are you gonna sell, right? And sales is the heartbeat of everything. So, at the end of the day, we all got to make money. And when it comes to marketing, you got to get people interested before they're going to take out their wallets and spend cash. I guess it's the best way to explain it. So why is marketing so important? Well, marketing creates that want or the need. And then, your sales are going to drive it home. But without the marketing piece, you could try to sell someone something, but it's a lot harder when they haven't heard of it. It's a lot more of a struggle and a push, and you're going to get a lot more resistance than if somebody's heard of something and they want it. I mean, when you watch a commercial for McDonald's and you see a cheeseburger, you're like, man, I want a cheeseburger. Nobody has to sell you on it. Marketing did that. You go and you buy a cheeseburger. Nobody had to say, hey, buy this cheeseburger, right? You just want it because you saw it on TV. And that's what marketing does. Versus, imagine if McDonald's did no marketing and you just saw a storefront, you had no idea who they were or what their food was. You'd have to make a conscious effort to say, let me try this out. Let me see what this is all about. And you may not be that motivated to do it because you don't know anything about it. So that's why marketing is so important. You know, especially, again, we talked a lot about content and audience. If you're not marketing yourself on a personal brand level, you know, on LinkedIn, let's just say, if you get cut from a job and your LinkedIn profile is just not good, if somebody goes to check that out, okay, well, why do I want to hire this person? You know, their LinkedIn profile is sloppy, their resume sucks. I'm good. They're going to move on. If you have a really good LinkedIn profile, if you have a good resume, that's marketing. That's how you get a job. So that's why, long answer, why marketing is so important.
I think that marketing is the act of getting into where people are. It's market thing. So it's an action. If we are after the sales dollars, then we all have to recognize that at the practical level, money is behind the people that you interact with. So take care of the people in front of you, and then just see if the flow comes to you. I think that's one way to do that. The other way is that I like to use this example of the paradox of a secret. A secret? How the hell do you know that there's a secret? It's supposed to be guarded, right? But there is. So someone must have gone out to do something paradoxical. Hey Tim, I have a secret. Shh. Come, I'll share it with you. That's marketing, right? It's a paradox. So you want to share fresh information, you want to share a secret, you want to share insider news, you want to share like things that, oh, we have this new product coming out in 2 months, buy the stock. Now the thing is not to go into the illegalities of things, but just think about the paradox of a secret. It works. I think that will give a better understanding of how and why marketing is important. Like, shh, don't say it. Well, then you will say it. For some reason, we work like that. So good idea is a good idea, a bad idea is a good idea. The worst idea is a ghosted idea. Like you post it and then everyone ignores you. So that's what I think.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think marketing is so important. I mean, it's as important yesterday as it is today. I think marketing's always existed. And it's like Tim says, like, you don't exist if you don't market, right? Like, if you just stay in your house, you don't do anything, no one knows who you are, you don't go across the street to say hi to your neighbor, you don't exist. And so marketing's the art of winning attention. And it doesn't matter if you own a business or not. In today's world, you have to win attention, you know, even to get that promotion within that company. So I think it's so important because it's our everyday. Unknowingly, we're marketing ourselves on a daily basis. The things we buy, the clothes we wear, the way we want people to perceive us, that's marketing 101, right? Perception's everything. So that's my take. And the biggest frustration for me when it comes to being an agency owner is no one gives marketing enough time. And people expect these quick results. There's a difference between growth hacking, lead generation, and marketing. Those are very different things. And when people come to me and go, I want marketing is definitely a long game. is holistic as a whole. You know, you can't just do videos only. You have to have copy. You have to have video. You have to, it's holistic. And there's no one that can do it all. Or I won't be in business, right? Because I have staff members that are stronger than me at certain things. I can't be good at it all. And you see these marketing influencers that act like they're good at everything. It's impossible because we're all, as humans, we are either left brain, right brain, and some of us might have both, but it's rare. So there's no one man that can just be like the marketing guru, you know. Even Gary, he has a team behind him. So understand that. And I feel like people watch these influencers and these marketers, and they have this false perception that with their penny budget, that they can become these influencers. And the truth is, these people are paying someone to help them. They can't do it all, right? And if you want to do marketing well, start at something you're strong at. If you're really strong at just doing videos, just do video. If you're really strong at writing copy, write copy. It takes baby steps. And once you get to where you're making some money, whatever business you may have, then start paying people to fill in what you're weak at. And that's how you can grow, marketing your business on a shoestring budget, right? It takes baby steps and it takes work, you know?
Well, you know, to just on that point, right? The thing that people need to also understand about these influencers, you know, a lot of them, you talked about earlier, Kev, are using bots and stuff to get you know, these likes. I mean, these bots are fake accounts, and they control the fake accounts. And you know, they'll have. If you ever watch some of their posts, within 2 minutes, there's 200 likes. How? People didn't have time to read the post. How's there 200 likes? Right? So you can't use some of these influencers as the measuring stick. Because obviously, you know, 4 million, 6 million, even 200,000 followers compared to 5,000 followers, it doesn't compare. That's number one. And then number two, you know, like you said, there's growth hacking techniques that people use to, hey, make myself look bigger. Oh, if 500 people like this, oh, as a consumer of content, I'm going to be number 501. Oh, let me check this out because it's got 500 likes. It must be really good. Well, a lot of those were not real likes. So you can't compare yourself to somebody who's using bots and growth hacking techniques to, you know, decide, hey, I'm going to be this person. It doesn't work. And those bots cost money. You know, like you said, they got a team behind them creating these accounts. They're paying somebody to create these accounts. And then as soon as they post, have clicks. So, you know, you really can't use those as the measuring stick. I think we talked about it all episode. Authenticity and consistency. That'll win. I mean, that's what Bottoms Up is about. We were all regular people at some point. I came into 2020 with no following whatsoever. Like you said, Kev, nobody knew about me. The world didn't know I existed outside of the few people in the car business who I worked for and worked with. Now, quite a few people know about me. But again, that takes time and consistency and authenticity. And then everything else will start to fall into place. But it still doesn't mean, I mean, we're 8 months into the year. It still doesn't mean I'm perfect or I'm set or I'm good. So it's an everyday thing that you have to keep going with. And then that's how you can start to gain traction in internet.
I think I would respond to this in two ways. So the first dimension is if marketing and sales, they are fragmented, like in some of the bigger companies. So then if you are on the camp of just marketing and you need the matrices to justify your budget and things like that, you know, you invest in your bots and things like that, right? And I guess a job is a job. I'm just gonna say that. But on a separate dimension where you go smaller, like solopreneurs or small teams where where marketing and sales, they are like together, then the question is awareness, engagement, monetization. Awareness, engagement, monetization. You can fake awareness. You can fake engagement. But look at your bank account at the end of the day. Can you fake that? That's all I'm gonna say. So for everyone that's trying to seek a living online, using social media as the platform to do your digital marketing, regardless of campaign types and regardless of platforms and regardless of content, it is not an easy game. So don't do things like using bots or growth hacking just to get the awareness, because at the end of the day, if you are depending on that for your income, your side income, or your freelancer income, or it's a side gig, right? The last leg is the one that you can never cheat yourself, which is the monetization. And let's face it, it's a fact. So unless you only want to run an awareness campaign and you want to look good, unless you only want to run an engagement campaign and you want to show it to maybe your potential commercial partner that, hey, you know what, I'm good and whatsoever. But even that, in time to come, you'll be found out. You will be. So I think it depends on the individual. That's what I'm saying.
So it goes back to, so I used to do a lot of, I was in multi-level marketing to just make extra money throughout college. I was pretty good at it. So I did my share of like Avon type stuff, right? And that was popular back in, early 2000s and stuff like that, right? And people always go, oh man, those people cheat people, blah, blah, blah. The difference between the people that succeed in multi-tier marketing and the people that don't, they're consistent and they put in the work. It's the same thing. So the people who growth hack and still put in the work, they win in the digital marketing space. The problem is too many people want to do the growth hack, but they don't want to put in any work.
Yes.
Bam. You're wasting time.
Yep.
You might have a huge numbers on your profile, but it's exactly what Aldric says. No money in the bank, right? So it goes back to what's your goal? Why are you on these platforms and what is your goal? If you have a clear picture of your goal, I mean, I still see people today that built incredible businesses with no social media.
Yeah.
And I hear all the time, oh, if you aren't on social media, you die, blah, blah, blah. I'm a digital marketer. I love to tell you that, but I'm lying to you. There are still businesses out there, I'm sorry, that can make it without social media. And Tim would attest to that. He's in the car business, right?
Yeah.
There are used car sales guys out there that are not on social media that kill it, based on relationships. So it's like there's industries that don't need social media. I can't say that 10 years from now or maybe 20, but as of today, I mean, it goes back to what's your goal? Is your goal monetizing? Then social media is not always the answer, so yeah. You guys have any more to add? And we had a great audience today, and I really appreciate everyone hopping on. And hey, if you guys have any last minute questions, feel free to drop it in the comments. And next week, we're going to be doing episode 27. And the topic is, where do we go from here? So with the pandemic and everything going on in this world, what does it look like for tomorrow, right? If a vaccine happens, if this pandemic eventually it'll go away, right? Are people still going to be online? Are people going to still do live shows? Those are kind of the questions we have. And we look forward to having you. And we just want to say thank you.
Thank you guys so much. This is great stuff, great discussion. Appreciate you all.
Thank you.
Join us next week.
See you next week.